Hello everyone. Happy Tuesday. Can't believe it's rolled around and it's Tuesday already. Well, how time flies. So, my name is Woodbridge. I am an independent Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Australia. I'm on the Central Coast, which is an hour north of Sydney, and I can say it's a sunny Central Coast today. After a questionable start, I wasn't sure if it was going to rain or not, but it didn't rain, so yay us, which meant of course I could have done a load of washing, but that didn't happen because I swore it was going to rain. So welcome as everyone comes in. You're not here for a weather report or to hear about my clothes washing. We're here to make a card. So I do sell the Stampin' Up! Products that I use in my videos if you're in Australia, but what I love to come on here to do is to inspire you and to show you some things that you might want to try or that you may have forgotten about, or things that you can do with your supplies. Or if not, I'm more than happy to enable you to purchase supplies. I am always enabled by you guys, my customers, other demonstrators, other crafters, always enabled going, ooh, I must try that. I must try that. So yes, have lots and lots of fun. Thank you, Rose, Corinne and Ethel, for joining. Welcome. Don't forget, at some time while you're here, give me a thumbs up if you like the videos I create here for you guys, and of course I love a comment, and I love for you to follow and subscribe so you don't miss out on any of my videos. So whilst it's a sunny day outside, we do have the end of celebration coming up, and I don't have a celebration. I need to move something, but I don't think I have. Oh, look at that. I do. But none of them want to come because it's stuck under my cut and emboss machine. Celebration just has a few days left. So this celebration ends tomorrow night at midnight. So what celebration? Celebration, this is a brochure. There is another offering as well. All can be found on my online store, where you spend 90 Australian dollars and you get to choose free items. And we do have a couple of $180 items as well, so you get a bit more bang for your buck for those. And you can also host a party, so if you have a very large order or would like to get a few friends' orders together, you can get the Perfectly pomegranate stamp set for free. And if you would like to join my amazing group of stampers at the moment, so if you join as a demonstrator, you don't have to demonstrate or do what I do. You can just buy for yourself and receive a 20% discount. So that's the big thing. You get a discount on your crafting products. And who doesn't want a discount? Hello, Tammy. Hello, Margine. I want a discount on my products. Hell yes. So for $169, you can choose your own $235 worth of product, and at the moment we are giving you a planner collection. So you get a planner, a stamp set, notebooks, an 18-month planner with planning inserts, stickers, the whole lot and caboodle. So if you are looking for planner piece, this Stampin' Up! One may just be what you need, and it has been confirmed I personally don't have it. Hey Janet. But it does fit. When you run out of your 18 months, you can purchase ones from Officeworks. I think it's the Denham or the Debnam, because I know someone with that surname. I always get confused. It fits those calendar inserts in there, but you get lots of planner pages and goal setting and all those things that people want in their planning. So if you have any questions about any of this, ask live and I will answer, or if you don't feel comfortable, send me a message. I will get back to you. Now, who have I missed joining? Hello, Beryl. Thank you for joining. So, now that I've caught you up on Celebration is finishing, but there are some things coming next month, which is lots of fun. I better tell you what we're playing with. We are playing with the Splendid Thoughts stamp set. Love this one. Have had some fun with it so far. I'll happily, please someone remind me at some stage to show you some of the other cards I've made with this. And there was even a demonstrator virtual class that we made a number of cards using that. And I've also grabbed out Vintage Christmas. We've been playing with the vintage bottle punch quite a bit. We're going a bit more feminine and we're not using a wine bottle this time. Wine bottles were masculine cards, was it last week or the week before? So this time we're using the companion stamp set. It's not bundled with the punch, but it does coordinate. So Vintage Christmas, and we are using embossing powder. So this is our 3-pack of basics Stampin' emboss powder. So you get black, white and clear, and today we are using the black and the white, and we will be creating this card together. I have a lot of the bits already done, like I have a jig and stuff like that. I didn't get my heat tool ready, but I'll do that when I'm standing up, turning off my overhead light. So yes, we shall make this card, have some emboss resist, and have a little bit of fun, because it is fairly easy to put together, and you get the moment of seeing the embossing powder melt. Hello, Miss Roz. It's always a moment watching embossing powder melt. Hey, Brenton, how are you? I never did contact you after last video, Brenton. We must connect. So let's flip around. And did everyone have a good weekend? I must say my team loved making this card. They went, ooh, I don't know if they'd forgotten about their embossing powder or what, but they certainly did enjoy doing this card. And I think I've also enabled a couple of them to buy the Vintage Christmas stamp set, because I got a couple of messages going, it's not bundled with the punch. It's like, no, it's by itself, but it coordinates with the punch. So I'm going to do, whoops, no, going to do a bit of a zoom. See, Facebook doesn't like me zooming. Now, let's see if I can, more, I want live, trying to pop up my video here, just so I can see. That zoom looks perfect today. Yay, first time. I'll turn off my light. And we are ready to rock and roll and play. Okay, so the one thing I didn't do though was to get everything out of my card, because I was watching a TV show that I got sucked into, as you do. Okay, oh, this is fairly easy actually. It is right here. So I've already pre-done some bits and bobs. And I have a leaf. And I have a jig for my leaf. I have a jig, and do I need 2 of these. So these are my Stamparatus plates that I have prepared earlier. This is from a stamp that a card that we will use a little later, not today, but it will come. And here is our leaf. So I think I have everything I need for the moment. If not, it's all directly next to me here. And just move a few things. It's right next to me. Now let's make sure I can see comments. Hello, Miss Maria. Hello, Donna. I hope everyone is well and had a good weekend. I'm just going to, and I didn't get out my heat tool, so I will have to stand up again, but that's okay. We can deal with that now. Just going to pop the stamp sets and the card just here for a moment, and we're going to go through all my bits and bobs. I think this is the piece that I'll need. So we've got our card bases. They can go over there. That's pretty much the last thing we need. I have 2 leaves today because I think everyone was quite confident with what they were doing. So I've already pre-done two card fronts. Now, these look a little different in green because my blending brush wasn't quite dry. Wasn't quite clean, rather, when I did my original. So this looks a little more old olive, where this looks very soft seafoam, which is kind of where I want to be. So with all my other cards, I don't need that piece today. We started with the embossing. So both, I'll see if I can show it here, both the sentiment and the background falling leaf pieces are embossed. And I did start with the black embossing, but first I need to show you something. I need to give you guys a giggle because I know many of you have said over time that my embossing buddy, and this is my original embossing buddy that is 15 years old, was looking a little empty. And I went, no, it all works fine. Well, in the new embossing kit that you can get in the mini catalogue, they have a new one. And as you can see, my one was very well used over the past 15 years, and I have actually conceded that I think I'm going to keep this one for the funnies, and this new one is going to be the one that I use, because I don't know who owns black embossing powder out there, but black embossing powder does kind of have the reputation that it can leave a lot of extra little beads of black, and I was having issues with my old black embossing powder, which I've since thrown in the bin because it was very old, and I have a brand new one, of course. I'm not going to be using the tray today. I'm just going to be using a piece of paper. I did use the tray for class, and it's awesome if I'm doing lots and lots of projects. You do get Teflon tipped reverse tweezers, so you squeeze and they open, so they're perfect for holding your paper. And you get a brush. Now this brush is for clearing out our tray, so it's for popping all the embossing powder to the bottom, and then you just unscrew this. Someone else screwed this up. Unscrew this, channel it back into the pot, and you're all good to go. So very, very useful today because I'm using 2 embossing powders, black then white, I don't want to contaminate my white by using the black in the tray. So I'm hoping that very long-winded explanation makes sense. If someone could tell me if that made sense, I would totally appreciate it. So I'm just getting prepared here. I love that our embossing powder is in packs because you really need black, white and clear. So I don't need the clear, although I could use the clear, but I do like the finish on the white a little bit better, although it wouldn't be so different. But clear is great, especially on colour, because you get the colour of whatever cardstock you've put it on. So I've got my black and I've got my white. I have my embossing buddy. I have my Stampin', so I'm just trying to get prepared first because we like to. So I've just folded this piece in half. I'm not using this one yet. I need the sentiment. So this says sending hugs. It's from the Splendid Thoughts stamp set. So a great card to have in your stash. And I have, if I can pick up my piece of paper, which I can't. Yes, it does. Awesome. I'm so glad it makes sense. Hey Bev, how are you? So I am going to be quite generous in my pouncing here, and then I'm just going to feed that into the corner. I am going to get that off. Okay, pop that on. Yes, that's the right place. Now the ink I'm going to use, and of course we sell it, is Versamark. Now Versamark originally puts a watermark onto our coloured cardstock, but it is quite a sticky ink that is totally clear. So we want sticky ink to enable the embossing powder to stick to. So that's really good. I kind of want to do that one more time. Now I know you can't see it there, but I can get my head onto an angle so I can see it. Okay, we are going to lift this off. I'm going to try not to manhandle it too much. Okay, pop this on here, open my black. Could have had this done before, but you know, it happens. So pick this up. Now I literally pop it over where I have stamped. I do let it sit there for a little bit, then I tap it off. Now I do have the tinsiest bit there, and I'm going to grab, if I can grab it, I'm awkward. Right, I'm right-handed, but I had to grab this with my left hand, so I've just got a little bit there that I just brushed off. I do have a couple of, I've got one grain that I'm going to live with. So I'm just going to pop that there. We're just going to do a titch of cleanup. So I just tap this into here, decant it, and then I'm going to turn it inside out for my white. So that is ready to go. Now before we do any melting, lids on. Ask me why I'm putting the lid on, and I will tell you that I have previously got embossing powder everywhere, all over me, all over my desk, all over the floor. Did I cry? No. Was I annoyed? Absolutely. Okay. This is now going on. Okay, great. Take this off because I have used that. Move this off to the side. Now, let me see. Yes, I can grab my heat tool. I always have my heat tool plugged in on my desk. It actually sits in a tall mug, so it's just sitting ready to go. Now, if you haven't seen our heat tool before, I am just trying, this is as far as I can put it, and you can't see it on the screen, but it does have two settings, so I'll let you listen. This is setting 1 that we use for drying ink, especially on vellum. That's actually a really good use. And then we go up to setting 2, so we've got a bit more force and a bit more heat. Now that is heated up already. I'm going to bring it to my stamped powder covered image, and I'm just going to keep it moving because I don't actually want to burn the paper. And that's especially easy to do when you're using vellum. So we should be able to see it just melt now. Now I'm looking at it on an angle and I'm just seeing if there are any dull places. Now there's two reasons why you get dull places. One is it's the embossing powder isn't melted, and the second reason is you've overheated it. Now, you saw how quick I was with that. I absolutely have not overheated it. Now, we are going to pop along to doing our white embossing powder. So I'm grabbing this image now. These leaves are actually meant to add some detail behind these like eucalypt leaves. Not gum leaves, but they're a eucalypt that I know you guys have it overseas, and it quite often goes in flower bouquets and it smells amazing. So like this one doesn't quite match up with this one, the same with this, and it is a distinctive stamp. So as you can see in the ones I've previously done here, it isn't totally, it's not totally solid. It is meant to be not solid. So how I stamp this, I do slightly go off the bottom there, and I can, if I pop my head on an angle, see where I have stamped, and I'm just going from the top and the bottom and just leaving a gap in the middle because we're going to have some other details there. So using the Versamark, and I should have re-embossing buddied this, but I didn't, and that's okay. Hopefully there won't be too much embossing powder that sticks where it doesn't want to. But I think for this background it doesn't actually make as much of a difference. With the sentiment, absolutely it makes a difference, but with the white it doesn't. Okay, so doing the top. Ooh, I did not stamp that one well at all, but it gives it a really lovely look. So I could see a little bit of ink there that I hadn't dropped powder onto. Now these images do stay wet for a little bit, so you do have time. And I probably didn't get that corner. Nope, that was the way I stamped. I do just give it a flick off, and that removes any strays. So hopefully on the screen, you can see where the embossing powder has grabbed, and I will do clean up again and just funnel this back. See, you can see with just one element, using a piece of paper was easy. If you feel more comfortable using the tray every time, use the tray. I love the tray. The tray worked really well for both my class and my team meeting. But I just find for myself, I just use a piece of paper. Okay, now I am just going to grab my personal favourite reverse tweezers because they're my fave, and I have had lavender steal my other pair because I do actually have two. These are easier for me to squeeze than these ones. These ones are made of much harder metal, and I just have issues with my hands. Okay. All good. Now, when we're melting this, I'm just making sure it comes back up to heat. When we're melting this, we ideally would like to avoid reheating the sentiment because we really don't want it to overcook. So hopefully you can see that changing. Just let me check that area, go over one more time, just turn this and do the bottom. Just one that one. And that is all the embossing done. Now, it is a little warped. It will dry back, and when I popped it on, I made my life so much easier, and I used dimensionals. So then if it was a little warped, it really didn't matter. Okay, so next we're going to add our ink with the blending brush, and this will really make our embossing come to life. Because at the moment, they're going, yeah, I see what you've done, but it's just not looking great at all. Sorry, just putting stuff away, grabbing what we need. So I have that, and so I use a green for everything. Oh, sorry. And this is soft sea foam. So do many people use emboss resist in your crafting? Now I want to start light. You don't want to go too heavy because you can add ink, but you can't take away ink easily. So do many of you emboss resist? And I do want it darker on the corner and coming out, oops, lighter. So you can see that white embossing is really shining through. I'm going to leave it there. I can always go back and add more, but we'll just do the bottom. I think it's a lovely technique. I really enjoy doing it. Now with my original one, I did add a lot more ink, but with these other ones, I've just liked leaving some white space and really making this more of the focal point. Okay, I think I'm really happy with that. Although I do just want to get rid of that. So I've got a dual end eraser, and see, oh, just with a wide eraser, whatever was there is now gone. Don't know what these may be stray pieces of black embossing, but that's fine. Oh, Corinne, I do encourage you just to buy the basic set and the embossing set. It is, yeah, it's such an easy thing, and I always, you girls who have been around for a while hear me go, oh, Jamie always says, emboss Ellen. I go, oh, really? But I really should do it more often because it just adds a really nice shine. I'll see if I can show you the shine before we move on to the next step. Just doing a titch of cleaning up here. So let me see if I can show you that shine. Hopefully it is shiny. Definitely is shiny. Okay, now next we are moving on to our Splendid Thoughts leaves. Now I did say I had two to do here, and do I have one or two bottles? No, I just need one bottle. Okay, 2 leaves, 1 bottle. Okay, Stamparatus, which is just over here, and I'm going to use my jig because we're doing more than one. So I stamp using the Stamparatus onto this piece of paper, then I cut it out with the matching Splendid stems dies. Oh, fantastic, Corinne, you won't regret it. Okay, and then that's probably my original piece there, although I really only need one because there's already 2 there, but I'm going to stamp 2 and 1 can go into my use it up box because I have quite a few things that I've tried to use using these dies and stamp sets that didn't work for the card. So I feel a use it up box card coming on with the Splendid stems. So we're using Calypso Coral. Given ink. So never press too hard with our ink pads because they are foam and they add ink beautifully with the softest of touches, just like that. Now my stem hadn't stamped perfectly, so I just went back in with a bit more pressure just over the stem area. It just goes in like a jigsaw puzzle. Okay, this, just give that stem a little bit of love. That is perfect. So that is not quite all of our stamping, but that is all of our stamping with the Stamparatus. And we are not going to get rid of that. I am going to protect my surface though, because I have added a new messy mat. And we all know that my messy mats don't last long. So if I can keep it neat and tidy, I'm going to. Now, I did make a grave decision in preparing for this class. On the original card, I used shimmery white cardstock. When I prepped this card, I used basic white cardstock. So to create this colour in the interior, I'm going to have to go in with a really, really damp aqua painter or water painter. So normally, and all I did with this one was picked up the ink from the lines that I've already stamped. So you can kind of see that fading out. It doesn't work as well on basic white. So that was a really, really good drop. Okay, so I'm just grabbing some ink on a block, and I'm just going to paint in the leaves. So not too heavy in colour. And doesn't matter if I go outside of the lines, I just want the colour there, because the more water or moisture that I add to this paper, the more it is going to not necessarily peel, but it expands. If you overwork it with a Stampin' Right marker, even if I overwork this in one spot, it definitely will peel. But we are going to try for that not to happen. So just going tone on tone with the Calypso Coral. You can see I got quite a lot out of that one inking or one ink pickup. So as you know, colouring does not have to be perfect. That is not my style. My style is get it on, get it looking okay. I don't mind the messy style actually. Okay, so start on these bottom ones this time. But I'm not squeezing this water painter at all. It is literally just damp, and there is just a tiny bit of water has flowed into it. And this one, go touch up any spots that I'm not happy with. And we are done. So I literally wipe this out, and that is ready to go for next colour. Hello, Peggy. Oh, yes, you do need to try this set, Peggy. Absolutely. So we've already done some embossing, so you'll have to go back and have a look at that. I'll just wipe that block off with the baby wipe, and then it'll be fine to use for whatever I want. The other thing you can do, if you don't want to use a block, you can see I've got a little puddle of ink there. So when the ink pad is closed, you can squeeze it, and that squeezes the lid onto the ink pad, and you just get a little bloom of ink. Okay, what do we have left, girls? The girls and guys, sorry Brenton, I've lost that piece of paper. No, I haven't. We need to take our vintage Christmas and take the bottle that goes with the vintage bottle punch. And we're going to stamp that in Pool Party. So we've gone with all pastels for this card, but the Calypso Coral does give it a really nice punch of colour. Right, you wouldn't think I don't use Pool Party a lot, the way how hard it is to actually I think I need to re-ink my Pool Party actually. I do believe it's getting a little dry. And just stamp that down. Yeah, texture isn't great, but we're just going to leave it, and someone remind me to do it later. Oh God, Brenton, what did I say that's making you laugh? Oh, that I forgot you. I could never forget you, Brenton. Okay, we have the Vintage Bottle Punch, as I said earlier in the video. This coordinates with the stamp set, but they are not part of a bundle. This punch actually bundles with the Bottled Happiness stamp set, which is a fantastic stamp set as well. It just has different styled bottles. And these are definitely more vintage bottles. Done. Okay, I think we are up to assembly. I don't know how, but we are. Okay, now I need, as you can see, I'm down, almost finished those sheets of, actually I may need those little ones. Don't need black on this card. So I've got the little ones, and I've got my scissors, and everything is going on dimensionals basically, which is fine. Now I may have made a boo-boo with that one being quite high. Sorry if you can hear David's keystrokes in the background. It's the computer's beeping at him while he's using stuff. It's not doing anything wrong, but I teach annoying. Who, me or the computer? Ah, she was snoring loudly before. Louise is in dream mode today. She was next to me and she was snoring and dreaming. Love to know what she dreams about sometimes. Okay, so we're just going to grab a couple of mini ones just to even out these leaves. I don't want them necessarily all being the same, but I do want to support a couple of them. So I'm just going to leave this one, and if it drops down, hey, that's fine. Now this one can go in my use it up box, because I do actually have a box with pretty much exclusively Splendid Thoughts and Splendid Stems die cuts. Now, how did I put one there, and I put one here? So who actually owns the Splendid Thoughts bundle? Because it comes with the most gorgeous paper. I did want to use the paper, but I ended up doing the blender background instead, because it's a gorgeous set, nice for different occasions. And then two of these. One and two, and I've still got this set going. The never-ending mini dimensionals. You love this one. You don't have this one, Corinne. Okay. Well, I'm very happy when I show you guys things that you don't necessarily own already. So I'm just going to pop this card here just so we can use it as inspiration for where this is all going. This big piece of ribbon that I used to tie balloons together for Lavender's 18th has just fallen on. Oh, it's still falling. Okay, it's out of my way now. All good. All is good. Just popping these into my bin off screen. So I want this somewhere about there. I think that's crooked, but does it really matter? No. Does not really. Okay. Gentle, 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 so we don't pull the paper. Now, because I used a damp water painter, this paper dried off really quickly and I didn't need to use my thing. Yes, you did the demonstrator event as well at the same time as me, Brenton, didn't you? Perfect. Just like that. So that is one, and we'll repeat that process twice more. And then we will use dimensionals again to pop it onto the card base. So here's one. The paper is so luscious and beautiful and foiled. I look at and I don't want to cut it up, but I know I have to. It's like I have to cut it up. I have to, but yeah, it's very hard. Very, very hard. Okay, let's see if I left. Please unstick from my hand, leaf. Okay, and slide this in as well. Slide, slide. No, I need to do a bit of a snip off the bottom here, which only you guys know about. No one else will know. You did. Very good. I'm going to show some of those cards just at the end so I can give some ideas of some other ways to use these stamps and the vintage Christmas as well, because I've done a couple of things. So I got them out for my class and my team meeting to share with them, and they went, oh, they're great ideas. Like, they love what they did, but they loved the other ideas as well, because some of them are an evolution of a card, so I don't think I'll share them all in blog posts or anything like that, because they're very, very similar card over and over again. Unless you guys say, hey Ellen, show us, I won't. Sorry, backing just got caught there. We almost had it. And silly, silly backing. Da 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 da. We shall try and try again for this one. Slide that all the way there and pop that down. Now, card bases. Bone folder. So I've just used our thick, basic white A4 card bases. Okay. So no treatment to these card bases at all. I think our card front piece really sings itself, and it almost gives you the picture frame look of having that wider mat and having it on the white. So it's that whole mat of the picture frame. I love going to the framers and getting stuff done. Her and I have lots of fun with colours and shades, and yeah, frames. She knows that I work with colour now, and she goes, okay, what were you thinking? Because I've had a bit framed over the last year to give as gifts and whatnot. And I currently need to go there and get some more framing done, because since we painted the house, nothing has gone back on the walls except for what's here in the craft room. Directly behind me, they went straight up straight away, and nothing else has gone up. Pretty slack, hey? Okay, so we prevented our saggy middles, and it doesn't matter. So you can see here the leaf slightly goes outside the bounds of the card front. That is totally fine. Because we've got this rather large mat, it actually looks really nice. And on my example, it's gone out on the side. But it looks nice when that is breached. It's a bit low. That will do nicely. So that's card one without our final touch, which is just some very simple embellishments. Oh, one tiny lone one left. He can go in the middle. Okay. So I never throw out my edges. I use them for many things, but this, we're just going to use them as if they were a normal dimensional. You can use them in a long line. So I could use that whole strip, and that is a great way to use them. But more often than not, I snip them up and use them as if they were a normal hexagonal dimensional. Do you throw out your edges, or do you use them? Because I did have a new customer have an epiphany when she saw the edges being used and went, oh my God, I've been throwing them out. She can now see the value in using the edges. Okay, upside down, Miss Jane. That's good. Don't know, put that other one there. And one more. Oh yes, you will, Leslie. You will have to watch it. So we had fun. We did some emboss resist. We did some very simple 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just cutting what I need, so then the bits don't fall off. Yeah, emboss resist using 2 different coloured embossing powders. Did some very simple, I'm not even going to call it watercolouring because it was so just barely damp, but we did colour in our leaf as well. And 5, perfect. We did some punching, and we've done some chatting. Yeah, it just adds a really nice texture, Donna. So it's like using like a mask, but I suppose it's a reverse mask, because rather than colouring into a mask, you're colouring to reveal. So it would be, that's crooked, just seeing if I can gently, without killing anything. No, that's just going to have to stay slightly crooked, and we will live with it. So for our final little bit, we used some elegant faceted gems in the clear, and I think I'm going to have to buy another pack because I only have a few left. So take your pick tool, and I literally added whoa, mister, come back and stay. Here we go. So I added 2 here, and I'm going to add 1 up there. That's it. Just to finish the card. So, yes, another pack of these is going to have to go on my wish list. 2 and 3. And I always, when I'm picking up my gems, I always push them from the side so they stick to the putty, and I get the glue dot that is under them as well. Besides the fact this one just doesn't want to stay. So I get all of that. There you go. So that is the 3 cards done, and these elegant faceted gems also come in, it's a shimmery white and in petal pink as well. They are gorgeous, absolutely gorgeous, and I love that they come in the 3 colors. So let's show you what I have used. I will now bring in the Splendid stems. So I will show you that I used this one, but you can cut out a lot of pieces from the stamp set. Now I said I'd show you some cards as well. So we did this one and this one and this one. So we finished off all 3 cards. And let me grab my handful of cards here, and let me see which ones go with this. No, yes. Okay, so we've got a mixture of our vintage Christmas cards, which we have done recently. We did this with vintage Christmas, and this one with vintage Christmas, and we did this one with the bottle punch. So same but masculine and feminine. And then these are all the cards that I've done with Splendid Thoughts. So I've used the same design, but I've just stamped the background, then added a little bit of blender brushing, where this one we embossed. So same but different. And then these are the ones we did in our class, and the actual inspiration from this background is from this card. And it's a shame in their card design that they covered it up, but that's where the inspiration came from. Got the Calypso Coral embossing. Love this one. love, love, love. This is using the now sold out soft sea foam and pool party card bases. So as I said, a couple of them are quite similar. And this one. And then this is the vintage Christmas one that is not Christmas at all. So hopefully that gives you some inspiration with these two stamp sets, because I've used them. I've definitely used them, which is the whole thing I want to do when I purchase a stamp set. I want to use them in different ways, because if I don't use it in different ways, I feel like I have wasted my time or wasted my money in getting it. So that's why you often see me not get some things, because I just can't see the value in that for me, because I'm not necessarily going to use it. Okay, so with this card, we use Splendid Thoughts Vintage Christmas. The Splendid stems die. We used the Vintage Christmas Vintage Bottle Punch. We used Elegant Faceted Gems and our embossing powders. So these are two from the basic set, and the other one that wasn't used was the clear, and we made that card. So I hope you guys all enjoyed. I enjoyed having you here. I will be back on Thursday. I think we might make a Christmas card on Thursday over on YouTube. Don't forget, you can purchase any of these products in my online store, and the link is below. So please don't hesitate to reach out if you've got any issues or questions as well. So I will get off now, and I will put that link in the description for this video, so you can find these products. My pleasure, Donna. I'm happy to share the inspiration, and I'm so glad you guys get value out of what I do share with you, because without you guys coming on and enjoying it, I wouldn't come on and enjoy it myself. Thank you. Thank you so much, girls. Be safe, have fun, and I will see you over on YouTube on Thursday. Bye.